my brothers and I, we started a foundation. Our mother was murdered when I was 16 years old. Yeah. And we started a foundation called the D.D. Jackson Foundation, where the sole purpose is to help other people, is to give back. And I truly feel we're 7 years in, and it's truly one of the highlights of my life is helping people get through their issues, their struggles, their problems. And, from a financial aspect, it's the least, lucrative thing I do. We don't get paid. Yeah. It's all nonprofit. They don't understand that. And what they really don't understand, Fernando, is the sacrifice my kids made. I was such a present father for my kids, coaching their teams, taking them every day to practice. And then when my uncle passed, when I started helping my grandmother with my uncle's kids and became guardian, they had a sacrifice as well.
Hey, what up? It's Game, man. NandoLeaks.
Hey, what's up? Yo, this is 50 Cent.
Hey, this is Rihanna, Fernando.
Hey, yo, Fernando. What's up? It's DJ Khaled.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is J Balvin. NandoLeaks, okay?
Fernando. X is in that station for a reason, baby.
NandoLeaks. Real talk.
Yeah, what up? It's your boy Fernando, a.k.a. Mr. Good Vibes Only. Welkom bij een nieuwe podcast, Real Talk. Ik zeg het je altijd, deze show gaat om motivatie, inspiration, next level gedachtes. En ik heb jullie beloofd. Ik zei, deze podcast heb ik ooit bedacht om de grootste dromen waar te maken. Het is voor nationale en internationale gasten. Mensen met een verhaal, mensen met iets groots. Vandaag heb ik een internationale gast. Jullie kennen zijn oom allemaal, de legendary Michael Jackson. Maar deze guy is al een soort vriend van me geworden. TJ Jackson is in the building, right here. Real Talk, the podcast, right here, exclusive. My brother, welcome.
Yes.
Welcome in my podcast studio.
I love it. This is the most chill interview I think I'll ever have done.
Wow.
It's a cool vibe here and I like it.
Welcome. And you're also into real estate. A lot of people don't know, but you sell houses. So if this was a living room, you'll be able to sell it.
Yeah. The staging is just right. So
okay.
Yeah, we could work with this.
Okay. Yeah, a friend of mine, Tito, he did it all. And like whenever you need indoor stuff.
He did his thing.
Philip, I told you.
He did his thing.
I told you.
He did his thing.
Welcome to my podcast.
Thank you, man.
And it's extra special because it's also your birthday.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sing to you on the cam.
Okay.
My voice is not that good.
Let's.
Happy birthday. Everybody sing along. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear TJ. Happy birthday to you.
You know what's funny? I actually forgot it was my birthday.
You forgot?
Until you mentioned it.
Oh, damn. How can you forget your birthday?
First of all, we grew up Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
So the whole family, we didn't celebrate birthdays.
Wow.
Saying that though, when I became about 16, 17, I started to celebrate them. My kids do now. Many of my cousins do now.
Yeah.
But we never celebrated it. So it was just an ordinary day for us.
Okay. And how was that to see other kids have a party, throw a party, birthday cakes, birthday presents? Did you feel a way about that?
First couple years, I wasn't feeling it. I was like, Mom, this ain't going to work. I need my gifts. I need my parties. Yeah. And then she says, you get enough stuff.
Yeah.
Because my Uncle Michael used to pick my brothers and I up and we'd go hit up a toy store, Toys R Us.
Oh, wow.
And we would clean it out.
Just walk in and then...
Oh, they would close the store for us. And I'm not kidding. We'd each have a cart.
Yeah.
And in America, they're big carts.
Yeah.
They're not like the little carts here in Europe.
Yeah.
They were big carts. And we could just put in whatever we want.
Wow.
So as long as it fit in a big cart, we had it.
Wow.
So he would take us quite often to go. On a regular, just random day.
So every day was like a birthday to you.
Oh, man. So that's why when I was like complaining about not having a birthday, my mom wasn't hearing that.
Yeah.
She was like, no, you're good.
Yeah. Wow. I can imagine, man. I'd be like, adopt me, man. I want to go out with that one.
We made the newspaper in Tokyo, in Japan, because we spent so much money. And it was funny. I think, I could be messing this up, but I think it was my grandmother. She had a talk with my Uncle Michael. Maybe it was my mom. So I went to talk with my Uncle Michael and said, you can't do that anymore.
Oh, serious?
Yeah.
And then he stopped.
And then Well, it didn't stop. Well, we were at the age where it was like, you know, we wouldn't be doing that anyway. But for his kids, there was like a rule where they can only get 2 things.
Oh, wow.
But before that rule was put in place,
Yeah.
my brothers and I, 3T, we were enjoying those
magical moments, man.
Oh, my goodness. A kid's dream, Fernando.
I can imagine this one, that one.
When a video game says like Nintendo, we'd have every game.
Yeah. Were you a really a gamer? You used to play a lot? Yeah.
Even on the road with the Brotherhood album, with my brothers, we'd be going around Europe, selling out arenas, and we wouldn't get out of rooms because we were playing video games.
Yeah.
This time I'm doing it different, man. I'm seeing things, I'm enjoying the cultures, and it's been so healthy for me. It's been great because there's so much to see in this world. So, yeah, I don't play as many games because it can suck. And I'm competitive.
Yeah, serious?
Oh yeah.
On what level? How competitive are you?
Very, very. So let me tell you. Okay, I haven't played in probably 3 to 5 years consistently.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I'm confident you wouldn't know someone that could beat me.
Oh, serious?
In some games, yeah. Like I was the man. I would take it. I would take you out.
But are you also, because mostly you can see in video games how a person is in real life. Are you also like this in real life as well, competitive?
Well, if I'm competing, especially in sports, there's no pity.
Okay.
I'm going for it. I don't care if I'm winning 10-0 or 10-0.
Yeah.
I'm getting that 11th goal.
And what are you good at? Because I know you used to play baseball.
Baseball.
Yeah.
Basketball.
Okay.
I play a little soccer, but you guys call it football. Not on your level.
Okay.
That one you guys get. You guys
when
get
it comes to
one.
baseball, you hit home runs.
Baseball, I'm on, and basketball, I'll take you to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when young kids grow up, they have a vision and a dream to become sports athletes, all kind of stuff. Did you ever have that dream, or was it always consistently music?
It was sports.
Okay.
It was actually, if I had to say, it was probably more sports.
Oh.
Yeah, but I had 2 older brothers, Taj and Terrell, and when they chose to go music, I couldn't say, all right, y'all, see y'all later. I'm going to pursue the sports thing.
Yeah.
So I went music as well.
Wow.
But I had a lot of opportunities to play professional sports. A lot of my friends who played, I grew up with, they played professional sports.
Oh, serious?
And they told me, you would have 100% made it because you were better than I was.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that was our thing. I think our father, what happened was he hooked us up. We had a batting cage in our house.
Yeah.
You know, he made sure, he just did a great job of really shaping how we thought. And we were competitive, we were intelligent, and we knew the work it took to be great at something because of our family.
Yeah.
So when you could apply that to anything, whether it's sports, whether it's painting, you know, whether it's business, you can apply those mindsets to anything and be successful. And for us, it was a lot of sports.
Wow.
Yeah, so 3T could have easily been athletes.
Oh, damn.
Easily.
And seeing that being a professional artist is also a major league sport.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have to be consistent. You have to be working out. It's practice. Sometimes you don't want to practice. You got to be.
Yeah, because my Uncle Michael always said that. He didn't care for sports. I shouldn't say he didn't like it. He didn't care for it, but he truly respected the athlete.
Yeah.
He understood the will and the work they had to put in to be successful. So he would always, you know, we were into sports. He wasn't, but we would connect on that level. Like one time we were in New York working music, and Kobe Bryant called him.
Oh, wow.
And Kobe was, I think, 18, you know, maybe 19. He was rookie with the Lakers.
Yeah.
And he was so excited to talk to my uncle. And he was like, Mike, I shot 10,000 shots today, and I did this. And my uncle was like, is he good? You know, to us.
Yeah.
He didn't really know. But he was like, oh, no, he's the next thing.
Yeah.
He's like, I could tell he's got it.
Yeah.
He's serious about his craft.
Yeah.
So he connected to people that way with their ambition and their seriousness in what they wanted to be.
Wow.
And for me and my brothers, we were still young ourselves, so we got to see it in not just music, but in basketball. Wow. We're very close with Barry Bonds. He had that same drive. So everyone we were around had this really crazy high level of drive, commitment, and ambition to do something great.
Yeah, but it can also, because a lot of people when they come from family that do great, or business, or at least athletics, or in this situation, musical royalty. I mean, if you say the Jacksons, that's a pressure. I mean, if you're doing music, oh, you a Jackson? Ask if you could dance, can you sing?
That's true.
There's a lot of pressure. How is there any time that the pressure's too heavy, or?
You know what, Fernando? That was one of the most popular questions we got asked when 3T first came out. Do you feel pressure being a second generation Jackson, following the Jacksons, following Michael, following Janet? And I can only speak for myself. I was 15, 16, 17. I never felt pressure. I don't know if that was ignorance. I don't know if that was just youth. I don't know if that was cockiness.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was just being prepared.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I didn't feel pressure. I honestly think a lot of it was just the humility of my family, because I didn't know how big my family was at that point. I really didn't. I knew they were successful. I knew they were great, but I didn't really know. And it wasn't until I aged and became a man myself did I realize how big my family was around the world.
Oh, wow.
When you travel to different places, you see it.
Yeah.
These people don't even speak English, but they know every one of your family song.
Yeah.
And it's not just Michael. It could be Janet. It could be the Jackson 5.
Yeah.
So that's when it's like, oh, shoot, there's a little bit of a legacy that my family has created. So doing music today, I actually feel more pressure than I ever did. But I also feel I have a healthier balance of what matters in life.
And how did you get to develop that then?
I think just life, losing.
Yeah.
Being okay with losing, accepting it. Not only just losing at things, but losing people. You start to really value what matters. And that's your present time. That's what you're going through. That's your relationships. Selling records, hitting number ones, all wonderful, all great. I think everyone should have ambitions to do great things. But what really matters is the connection you make with the people you love. So as long as I put that first, everything else can be okay. I think people get in trouble when they put their craft above everything. Not saying some people can't do that, because that's been what a lot of successful people have done. I'm just not at that point.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I don't care. It doesn't mean I won't work my butt off, but I'm going to value my loved ones more than anything. I'm at that point in my life.
Yeah.
And it's been a healthy adjustment for me, because I can't say it's always been that way.
But you know what I like about you, like how our friendship also developed. Like you're always eager to help people around you. That you also, what I think is an amazing trait is that you're also a person that could sit aside and push someone in front of your own needs.
Yeah.
That's a gift. That's hard. I mean,
I don't see it as hard. I see it as right. I truly think when you give to others, at least for me, it actually makes me the most happiest. It's true. My brothers and I, we started a foundation. Our mother was murdered when I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
And we started a foundation called the Dee Jackson Foundation, where the sole purpose is to help other people, is to give back. And I truly feel we're 7 years in, and it's truly one of the highlights of my life is helping people get through their issues, their struggles, their problems. And, from a financial aspect, it's the least, lucrative thing I do. We don't get paid.
Yeah.
It's all nonprofit, but it's the most fulfilling. And being on stage and singing and seeing your fans sing back. I had a show last night in Brussels, and I met many wonderful fans, but one fan, she couldn't even talk. She was crying, holding me the whole time. She wanted to take a picture and had to take them in sunglasses inside because her eyes were so red and tearing.
Oh, wow.
And that's better than any award I've won.
Yeah.
It truly is for me.
Yeah.
You can't take anything with you. I think a lot of times, not that I want to see this, but I think of being on my deathbed. When it's all said and done, when I can't take anything, just my mind and my memories, what am I going to cherish? It's those moments.
Yeah.
It's just the truth. Because my kids don't care about my awards.
No,
They don't care.
Do they know that the father is famous or that he toured the world?
They're learning it on this trip. They're learning it on this trip. I never wanted to be an artist to them. I wanted to be their father. And this trip was the first time they got to really see what their dad not only does, but has done.
Oh, wow.
And, I have one of my kids take a Polaroid picture for all my meet and greets.
Yeah.
And you can probably assume when some people come, they're so happy. They cry, they hug me, they do everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll look at the fans, of course, hug them, but then I'll take a glance at my daughter and she's like in shock. She doesn't, because she never could have predicted her dad was like that, was that successful in life. So it trips her out. Yeah. And then, a fan will bring out a huge poster from a teenage magazine and say, "Can you sign this?" And she's like, "Can I see that picture?" Because she's never seen her dad at 15, 16 years old.
But was it something that you had in your mind from, I don't want my kids to see that successful part, and I just wanted to see a dad that works, he's a real estate or broker? And
I never consciously planned that, but I think I did plan that subconsciously.
Yeah.
And I think that's because that's the Jackson way. I really believe that. Like I said earlier, I never knew how successful my family was because to me, they were just my uncles and father. So if you don't, and I think that's been one of the greatest things my family has done internally. We've really put ourselves as a family first, and like even our younger cousins, even my uncle's kids, I think they're just now understanding his significance. I don't want to get too far into it because I know, if they ever want to share these stories, they will. But I had to get into a debate with one of them about how successful their dad was. They were downplaying it.
Seriously?
They had no idea. But that's my uncle doing his thing.
Yeah.
He wanted them to respect him as their father.
Yeah.
And I think that's something my family does. And I'm nowhere near his level of success, but I listened to that lesson and I adapted that lesson for my own kids.
Yeah.
I want them to see me as their father and as a human before they see me as a celebrity.
That's amazing. And it's so, like, often I think, wow, how amazing it would be to have met and known your uncle, Michael, because like when I met his kids, I was like, they're so humble. Because in my mind, like, if my dad was Mike, I'll be moonwalking and everybody be like, yeah. I'll be like, but they were so humble, so nice. I was like, wow, so gracious. So I can only imagine how wonderful he was. Like,
I've said it before. He was brilliant, not only on stage and in the studio, but outside this, outside his craft. He just got it. He knew, and he was very humble. Sometimes he wasn't. He wanted glamorous and grand things, but sometimes he was so chill. And he wanted to make sure his kids valued things and respected things. And I've said this many times, but, my eldest son is the oldest grandchild from my great-grandchild, I should say, from Catherine and Joe. Yeah. And he's only a couple years behind. He's actually in between my Uncle Michael's kids. So when he was having kids and I was having kids, we talked a lot about parenting. That was what we talked about. Yeah. We didn't talk about movies. We didn't talk about music. We talked about parenting. And, I got some incredible lessons and I even shared some things. I was big into reading parenting books. And we just, took notes and shared notes.
Oh, wow.
And, I think we landed on a very good place on how to parent and how to be there for your child, even though we are Jacksons or artists.
Yeah.
And it comes down to the basics. You just got to be there. You got to be there. No matter what job you're doing, you got to make sure you put your kids first.
Yeah.
And, that doesn't mean the kids will be perfect. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to do some silly...
Because we're human.
Because we're human.
Yeah, we also have our flaws and things.
We have to.
Yeah.
And you just got to be there to catch them and make sure they learn from it.
Yeah.
And they may make the same mistake again. Yeah. You just got to be there for them. That's our job. And that's something we both understood. And I really tried to continue to be, not only for my kids, but for his.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah, that's amazing because before we met and you read about a story of, whoa, you're also taking care of his kids. I was like this. And you also have your own kids.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand that's a big responsibility.
They don't understand that. And what they really don't understand, Fernando, is the sacrifice my kids made. I was such a present father for my kids, coaching their teams, taking them every day to practice. And then when my uncle passed, when I started helping my grandmother with my uncle's kids and became guardian, they had a sacrifice as well. I have zero regrets. It was the right thing to do. And, I've always said this. I owed my uncle so much. When my mother died at 16, my life was over. I didn't care about anything. I went from a really good student who was ambitious to one who was numb. I didn't care about anything. And there was others, of course, but he played a really big role on making sure I snapped out of that and got ambitious quickly. We were recording Brotherhood with my mom. My mom was our manager. She was there every step of the way. She's murdered. And then we still, within a year, release Brotherhood and do our thing.
Wow.
That's not normal. That's not normal. And like I said, it was my father, my grandmother, friends of, family, friends. But it was also my Uncle Michael who got us back, make her proud.
I can imagine when that all happens that you would want to just I can imagine not want to care because your mom is not there. She was in the process of recording the album and now she's not there anymore.
It was hard. It was hard because especially at that age, you're asking all these questions that you don't have answers to.
Yeah.
It's like, where is she? Can I join her? She was my favorite person in the world.
Wow.
And to just have it taken from you overnight was very challenging, of course. But like I said, from the help of those I mentioned, you have to use that energy and use that mentality to put it for good.
Yeah.
And my brothers and I did that with our music and our performing. And you know what? To go back, I think that's why we maybe never felt pressure. What matters at that point? You know what I mean? Our mother was murdered in 94, the summer of 94. In 95, we released our first single, Anything. So it's like, doesn't matter. We want to be great. That's our ambition, but we don't care if a critic's going to say something.
But how do you, because a lot of my viewers, I get a lot of stories from people that have lost someone or feel that they cannot grow in life because it's like life is hard. But losing your mom, that's next level pain. How do you, even if someone talks to you and the person is there, it's always a hole in your heart.
That's it.
How do you, it damaged you in some way? It's
100%.
Yeah.
100. It also, I think what you have to do, and this is the main lesson my Uncle Michael told us, was you have to try to make her proud. You have to honor her and respect her and do what she would want you to do. Make her proud. And, that's what we did. We did. I truly don't know exactly what you tell a teen because, like I said, I was numb, and I want to give credit to my Uncle Jermaine too, because he was the first family member outside of my brothers that I saw after learning about my mother. We went to a hospital. A doctor coldly said, "Your mother's dead," and we went right back home. And my father lived further away, so it took him time to get to us. My Uncle Jermaine lived very close, and he came right to us. And I was numb. I didn't know what to say, think, nothing. There was nothing. I was just a shell. And he gave me the most important hug I've ever gotten in my life. And I just remember just crying. But at the same time, I also knew at that moment, I will be okay. I had someone else, family, that can hold me and that was there with me. And I can get sad, but I always tell him that hug saved me.
Yeah. And because that was the thing you needed at that moment.
Yeah.
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 It's amazing, bro. Because
and you know what? You can't really plan for that. It's not like someone said he needs a hug. Give him a hug now. But the timing of it and when it happened was the turning point for me to feel like I'm going to live and I'm going to be all right.
Yeah. And how did you, like, also your brothers, like, at that moment is also something that puts a hole in all three of your hearts.
Yeah.
But it's also something that binds you as well.
Yeah. 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 And I have to be careful because my story is my story. And that's one of the main things with grief. Everyone grieves differently. Mm-hmm. And everyone goes through different experiences. I can't say what my brothers went through. I can't say what moment was huge for them. For me, that was my moment. And I have to be respectful of that because they may still be going through a different part of that process. Yeah. And I think one reason why I want to say this is for anyone who's watching or listening to know that when because I've seen some other people be very cold to people who've lost, you know, you should be over it by now. They're in a better place. You know, you'll be okay. But they don't truly understand what kind of loss when you lose your mom. And my parents were divorced. So I didn't have both of my parents in my house most of the time. It was just my mom. And in my case, my brothers were off to school. They were in college. So for me, the last year and a half were really just my mom and I. You know, so we were very tight. Yeah. And I was just learning to drive. So she was helping me. So my last picture is with me at the driving DMV is what they call it, getting my license. That's my last picture with my mom. And we were so close. And it was like, at that point was when I lost her. So, you know, I have to flip it too and say, I'm still grateful. I'm still thankful that I got my 16 years with her. Mm-hmm. I'm still thankful I got the lessons I did. And that's helped me. You know, I think when anything bad or when any situation, you could see it two ways. You could see it really in a negative way or in a positive way. And I try to, with everything, see it in a positive way. And I think that's what's helping me be who I am and see the world the way I do. Because I got a lot from my mom.
Yeah, what do you get from her? What are the things?
Everything. Yeah. From being strong, from saying what you believe, not caring truthfully what people think if they don't care about you. Wow. She was tough. Yeah. She was only, you know, she was tiny. Yeah. But she was no joke. Yeah. If you didn't treat us right or our family right, or even just a regular person, she didn't care how big you were. She would say what she felt. Wow. She would protect you. Wow. And I saw that and admired that. Yeah. I mean, there were times where I'd be at stores. Yeah. And I was like, oh, Mom, please, can we go? Seriously? Because she's about to lay it down. Yeah. Yeah, she didn't play. So we aren't, I don't think that's really the Jackson way, but that was my mom's way. And it was cool. It taught me to fight for what you believe in. Yeah. You know, I think our tactics may be a bit different, but the end game is there. If I care about you, I'm going to fight for you. Yeah. Always.
But that's the most important thing. Family and standing up for one another and being there. And that's what I really, one of the many things I respect about you is your loyalty, your love, and how you just care. Because I was telling you that the last time, like in that period, 2016, I almost became a father. Mm-hmm. I'm a father now, but I was scared, man. I was scared. I remember us in LA and I was talking to you and I was saying, I'm scared, I don't know what to do. And you reassured me, it's going to be okay, Fernando. It's going to be okay. Yeah. And those words helped me, man. Like I would never forget those words. Those words gave me confidence because I was insecure. I didn't know what to do because my father wasn't really present in my life. So I really didn't have a blueprint of how to be a good father. So I was scared. I was like, I want to be good with my son. I want to be, I don't know, you want to be the best you can be. But
absolutely.
I was insecure. So our conversation in LA saved my life, man.
That means so much to me.
Wow.
It really does. Because I think for me, you got to remember, we were at the height of 3T, 98, 99. And, we were working on our next album. And I still, because my mother had passed just several years before, I had a hole in my heart. And I was still numb and still needed a purpose. I needed something, a real strong love like I had with my mom. I needed something. And I always wanted to be a young father. So I would talk with my uncle about this. And he said, you should be a father. It's like, yeah, I know that. He's like, no, you should be a father soon. So he kind of not encouraged me, but he told me it would be okay to be a young father. So I became a father, which was a no-no where I grew up. Not just being a Jackson, not just having a career, but where I grew up, you were supposed to go to college, get a job, get married, and then have kids, maybe in your mid-30s.
Yeah.
But at 19, 20, I was trying to have a kid. I was trying to be a father.
Wow.
And here I am, a sex symbol in Europe, and, I'm thinking about my brothers in 3T and like, oh man, I don't want to derail 3T and
loyalty again.
And exactly.
Yeah.
So I was struggling with that, but I really needed to be a father. So, my wife, who's I'm still with, and I've had all my kids with, we decided to have a kid as friends. Because she had 2 kids prior.
Okay.
And a lot of people would be scared of that.
Yeah.
For me, that was a bonus. I got a preview to see what kind of mom she was going to be.
You can do research. Okay, you good with this? Okay, you check that.
And truthfully, that's the honest truth. I knew if something ever happened to me, my kids would have a great mom.
Wow.
So that's what attracted me. She's a beautiful woman. She's a sweet woman. But that was the clincher.
Yeah.
That was it. So we had a kid as friends.
Yeah.
And, I loved her as a mom. I loved her as a person, but her mom, she was golden.
Yeah.
She was top notch.
But you said you were friends, so you
Not long.
Okay.
Not long. That wasn't the criteria. The criteria was, would you be a great mom?
Oh, wow.
That was the main thing. I mean, I think it was 3 months. 3 months we known each other.
And then oh, wow.
And then we had, yeah.
You make no mistake.
One of the best decisions I made.
Yeah.
Though, and I wouldn't recommend I don't want to get letters saying I tried your thing and it worked backwards. But I don't know. I feel I can read people pretty well.
Yeah.
I feel like, I'll tell you another story. Our first date, wasn't something crazy. It wasn't a 5-star restaurant. It wasn't at the ranch. It wasn't anything crazy. It was Subway sandwiches.
Okay.
And if she passed that, I knew she was cool.
Yeah.
And she passed it cool. She was like, let's do it.
Wow.
I want a 6-inch or I want a foot long. It wasn't like, this is really where we're going.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting her to say that, but there was
you're
nothing.
testing someone's character.
I do.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I don't want to come off as crazy.
No, but I can imagine. When you have the name Jackson,
you kind of have to.
You get a Jackson prize.
You kind of have to.
Oh, you're Jackson. Oh, the prices went up.
You kind of have to. And to this day, it's been more than 23 years, almost 25 years. She's never asked me for an autograph from a family member. Nothing.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know if she realizes that, but that's very cool to me.
Yeah.
She sees me as a person.
Oh, wow.
And where were we going with the kid? Yeah, but anyway, being a young father, I was 21 when I had my first kid.
Wow.
21.
But when did you make the switch from being friends to, okay, this got to be the wifey, I got to marry her?
It took time.
Okay.
It wasn't like
because you're also a superstar touring the world.
Yeah.
What did she think about it? From like,
she's like, as long as you're a good father to my kid.
Oh, wow.
You told me you wanted him. You better be good for him.
Wow.
And she's very strong. Yeah. And I love that about her. She can appear sweet and nice, but she's strong.
Wow.
She don't play.
No. Does she feisty?
She's from Texas and she don't play. And I love that about her. And in time, like everything, I think if you have a good relationship with someone, it continues to grow and blossom.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't change a thing.
Wow.
But what I wanted to say was when I was 21, I just turned 21. My son was born in October. My birthday's in July. And it went from seeing black and white to color the minute he was born.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, Fernando, that hole I had from losing my mom was filled.
Oh, wow.
I'll never forget that too. It's like the minute my son came out, I was like, I have a purpose in life again.
You had to find your purpose.
I had to.
Wow.
And like I said, it went from seeing in black and white to color. All of a sudden, it's like, now I can live.
And then you called your uncle. I told you. He was right.
Oh, he was calling me. He was like, Applehead, is he here yet? Oh, it's great, isn't it? He was so happy for me.
Yeah. How did you come with the name Applehead?
I don't know how he did that, but you have to probably ask one of my older brothers that question because I'm the youngest. But that's what he calls us and many of my other cousins and friends. Yeah. But that is a funny name if you think about it. But yeah, he was the one when it came down to me being a father who helped me through that process. Yeah. Because I think he may have known I needed it. You know, he may have known that that's what I needed. And if it wasn't for him, I don't know if I would have done it and my life could be a lot different.
Yeah. And then you are successful with your brothers touring the world. But then there was a moment that you guys kind of stopped.
Yeah.
What was the reason you guys stopped? And
you know, they call it the music business.
Yeah.
You know, and the music side I love, always have loved, making music, creating, touring, performing. But the business side can get funky and it can get messy. And it wasn't really anything. If we weren't Jacksons, we probably would have continued. It wouldn't have been a problem. But there was a problem with Sony and my Uncle Michael.
Yeah.
And that tripped us up a bit.
Okay.
You know, because we were on Sony as well. And whether it was true or not, my uncle had strong feelings that if we were to release our follow-up to Brotherhood, that it wouldn't be taken care of.
Yeah.
It would be sabotaged.
Yeah.
And we listened to him. And, you know, he had steered us right the entire time of our lives. So we listened and respected that. And we tried to get off of Sony with that record. And it took us, you know, probably 5 years to do that. So by the time that happened, I'd said, all right, I'm out. This is not fun. I got a life to live. I moved to Texas. I wanted to move to Texas to live, to get some normality. It wasn't cool spending 3 years making an album to not ever let it come out.
Yeah.
So I moved to Texas, enjoyed my life for a bit, and then came back to LA and said, okay, I'm ready. And by that time, we were finally off Sony and we released some music.
Yeah.
So I don't want to sound like I'm complaining because I've been blessed and been fortunate.
Yeah, seriously.
In my life.
But like, if you look at it, like every time when you guys tour, all these fans are like, "Oh my God!" You imagine that you guys would be doing it more, but it was sometimes like you guys took like a hiatus.
Yeah,
and you also have your own company as well.
Yeah. Well, after that, it was like we're not going back on a major. You know, we don't want to do that. We don't want to get hung up again for 5 more years. So 3T, we made our own label and released our own music. It's tough because during that time, we saw all of our peers continue to grow and to continue to enjoy the success.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, but oftentimes people will say, they're Jacksons, they got it made.
Yeah.
That was one time where it hurt.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And,
wow.
and you know, we had Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and Boyzone and Worlds Apart. They were all continuing to grow and build their audience and build their careers. And we were stuck.
Wow.
We were stuck because it's something we had nothing to do with.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not complaining, just letting people know there's 2 sides to everything. You know, again, I'm grateful because if I wasn't a Jackson, I probably wouldn't be here. You know, I could easily be in Gary, Indiana, working at a steel mill, in a gang, in a prison, if it wasn't for my father and his brothers.
Yeah.
I'm grateful and I'm blessed. And even on a personal level, the lessons I learned from them, I'm thankful. But it's important to also mention the times where it held us back a bit.
Yeah. And you're also part of history forever. Like,
yeah.
your family is, like I said, music royalties. It's like something like the Marleys, what the Marleys have. Like, on one hand, your dad is Bob Marley, and then when you sing, people say, "What is as good as your?" Like, I can imagine that's the whole thing. But
you know what's cool, and I'm happy you used the Marleys because and I don't know if this is just an internal thing, if this is a Jackson thing, but on my last album, the one I released called Acoustic Sessions, I did a remake, my first cover, and it was of my Uncle Michael's Human Nature. And a lot of my instincts were to never record a cover of my family. So it took me a long time to get to this. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's just something that's just me, if it's my family. I never considered doing a cover of a family member. But it was my producer who encouraged me to try it. And I'm so happy I did. Because if I'm going to pay respect and tribute to an artist, why shouldn't it be the one who inspired me the most? Not only as an artist, but as a person. Yeah. Why do I do a song by George Michael or Phil Collins or Prince? All artists I love and respect. But why is it okay for me to do one of theirs, but not one of my Uncle Michael? Yeah. When my Uncle Michael influenced me more than all of them. Yeah. You know, and I had to I don't know if this is just an internal battle I had to overcome, but I did, and I'm happy I did. But back to the Marleys, I saw in Brussels, there was a poster that says Ziggy plays Bob. And that was like, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. You can make your own career, do your own music, and still pay homage and tribute to your family. Yeah. That's something I never really thought of before. And I'm going to accept that and embrace that like the Marleys do.
That's a good thing.
It's a great thing.
So we might hear you do more.
You may.
Okay.
Because it's nothing wrong. I think that's either an American thing, a media thing. I don't know. But something made me feel guilty of doing a Jackson song. Not just Michael, but a Jackson song.
Why? Because you thought like maybe you're using the name or the brand, or
I can't articulate it perfectly, but it's somewhere in there. I don't want to say it's a cheat code or it's too easy of a sell. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but for me, that music was what influenced me. That's what I sing when I'm on my off time. Yeah. If you want to hear me in the shower, it's my Uncle Michael's and my Janet Jackson and Jackson songs that I'm singing mostly. Yeah. So why can't I record that? Exactly.
And why did you choose Human Nature? Why that song?
Because it's a cool song.
Yeah. Of course. Like, maybe you have a story behind the
No, it's one of my favorites, Fernando. Yeah. It's one of my favorites. And doing something like Beat It or Billie Jean or Thriller, that felt untouchable. Yeah. But Human Nature, at least for me, I felt like I can embrace and do my thing to it and still pay homage to the artist, my uncle. Yeah. And I love that song. Yeah. It's a beautiful song. And if I could bring some of my fans or some younger generation, some kids, to learn about Human Nature and my uncle's catalog, he don't need me to do it, but if there's 1, 2, 5, 10, 100, 1,000 that learned about Michael Jackson through my version, that's cool. Yeah. If I'm gonna pay a spotlight to an artist, it should be Michael Jackson.
And I think, personally speaking, like I think your uncle would appreciate it even more when you do, because you were also very close.
Yes.
It's very special because I think I don't know, like it feels like you guys have a special bond also for the fact that he helped you and you brought us out when your mom died. You're taking care of his kids. It's something magical within, because you have a lot of Jacksons, but your connection with your uncle is much different than the rest. Because you really,
my brothers and I, and my uncle, we were one.
Yeah, so
we were one, and I do think about that though. Would he be happy I did Human Nature? Would he have said, "Apple, you shouldn't have done that"?
I think he would.
I think his first instinct would be, "Apple, don't do it." Yeah, and I think it would have been a protective thing. He'd be afraid of what people would say about my version of it compared to his. Not him being cocky, but him knowing.
And then you respond with how your mom would respond. we don't care how the people think.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably my mom that pushed me to do it. But now that it's out and it's out, I think he would be happy with it.
Yeah.
He would say, I love it, Up. You did your thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm proud of you as well, man.
Thank you, man.
I'm proud of you. And are we going to see more of the solo stuff? Because a lot of fans are like, think, okay, is Treaty stopping? Or you're not going to be touring? Are you focusing on a solo career? Or you stop?
Yeah.
What's the?
I'm ready. Like many of our fans, I'm ready for 3T. I just think we're at different points in our lives where we're all doing different things.
Yeah.
But the minute it's go time, I'm there.
Okay.
I will put my stuff aside.
Yeah.
To do a 3T project and shows. There's nothing like performing with my brothers.
Yeah.
That's how it started. And I love doing my own thing. There's a freedom and flexibility to it that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
And my fans are loving it. So, I'm growing into this and my fan base is growing into this and it's a wonderful journey. But 3T is my core.
Wasn't it scary to go on stage by yourself in Europe without your brothers and doing? Yeah,
it was.
Okay.
My first show was in Paris just a month ago, and it was hard.
Yeah,
it was scary. I learned a lot.
Yeah,
I learned that it's harder.
Yeah,
there's no hiding. You got to sing every word. Every word that they listen to is coming from your mouth.
Yeah. No cheat code. Like
no. There's no breaks.
Yeah.
There's none of that. But my first show in Paris, and so many of my fans from around the world came, was tough for me. It was an emotional one for me because I performed thousands of times, but all of those times were with my two brothers.
Yeah.
This was the very first time I performed by myself, and it was emotional. And my father surprised me for it. And it was a special night because I got to have conversations with him during the show.
Yeah.
And I got to thank him for his sacrifices, for him being such a great father. And it was an emotional night.
Because he also put his music career on the side.
That's right.
To be a father to you guys.
He was the last Jackson out of 9 to release a solo record, even though he was the first Jackson to make music. When he was a kid, he was the one who broke that guitar string that started the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
Without my father, there may not be a Michael and Janet Jackson. He snuck into his father's closet every night to play the guitar he wasn't supposed to touch. He would practice and play and try to do things he heard on the radio. And one day the string broke. And my dad was just a kid, so he didn't know how to fix it. So he had to put the guitar back. And one day my grandfather got back from work, grabbed his guitar to relax and play, and noticed the string was broke. So he said, "Who touched my guitar?" And my father was crying and had to say it was me. He got his whooping, got in trouble, and then my grandfather fixed the string and gave him the guitar and said, "Now show me what you can do." And my father was crying, playing chords and making music. And then the next day, my grandfather bought my father a guitar. And that started the Jacksons.
Imagine if he didn't pick up the guitar and didn't do those stuff, didn't do that.
Wouldn't have happened.
Wow.
It wouldn't. Gary, Indiana.
Wow. Yeah.
This isn't in LA. This isn't in Hollywood. This is in Gary, Indiana.
Wow.
The last place you'd find music.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. That started it. And at first it was just Tito, Jackie, and Jermaine. They were just a trio.
Yeah.
And Michael and Marlon were young, just watching on the side.
Yeah.
And then eventually they wanted to join. And eventually they got of an age where they could. And that was the Jackson 5.
Wow. Legendary. Bro, I want to let you know that you're always welcome on my podcast.
Yeah, man.
You're always welcome. So when you have whatever, this is your platform as well. And I want to thank you also for being here on your birthday.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me too. I honestly forgot, Fernando.
Congratulations. And I know we started out the interview that you said you were used to not getting presents, but I found something.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Oh, snap.
Thank you very much. Because I was talking to Tiurlan, I was like, we have to get TJ something for his birthday. And I was crinkling my mind, and we were having a conversation. I was like, because he's in real estate.
Okay.
Maybe something with, I don't know.
Can I open it
This
here?
is for you. Yeah, open it. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, I already see it says book lover.
Yeah.
And I love me some books.
Oh.
So I want to thank you in advance for this. I'm terrible at opening. My grandmother would be so mad at me right now.
Why?
Because whenever envelopes or anything, she likes to use like a little envelope opener thing.
So
and
I
do
just tear it up.
Me
I just
too.
tear it up.
Yeah.
I'm just still a little kid. Like, I'd be like...
Grandma, if you're watching, close your eyes. This would bother my grandmother. But yeah. I
hope you like it.
Oh, man. I do. Oh, cool. Amsterdam Architecture, a guide. I love it.
Exactly, because you're into buildings.
That's
and
right.
I know you love real estate, and Amsterdam has a lot of amazing buildings. So
I love it. I love it. And you know what? I'm trying to find one thing because I'm so curious to know what it is. It's like a little, I don't want to say a hut because that sounds disrespectful.
Yeah.
But it's a little like cone thing. I don't know if people live there and it has a windmill on it. I feel like I only see it in your country.
You mean that water mill? Windmill.
But there's like a little home.
It's like a windmill. Yeah, some people they live in it. It used to be homes, yeah, but they have people that have their own windmills and stuff.
What do you call that?
Windmills.
But what's the name for the home with the windmill? Is there a name? Or
I think there's a windmill. Mola. Mola. Do you want one?
That'll be my first purchase. I'll be in a mola.
Have you ever thought about buying a house in the Netherlands? I never thought
about. Look, my mom is Latin.
Yeah.
Spanish descent. My grandmother on my mom's side, she spoke no English.
Okay.
So just Spanish. So one of my lifelong dreams and goals is to speak Spanish fluently.
Okay.
So maybe in Madrid, I'll get a place to learn the language. I love the culture. But I also thinking of Madrid versus, Mexico because I love Europe.
Okay.
I love the ability to go to different cultures and see. And one of my favorite things about the Netherlands is you guys and your bikes.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, I have a bike in the studio. So shout out to Knap.
I see that.
One of those bikes, you gotta have one of those bikes.
That looks electric though.
Yeah, it's an electric bike.
You're cheating.
A little bit.
I'm talking about the real ones, Fernando.
Yeah, but this one is real cool, man. This is real cool. I'm gonna hook you up.
Okay. I love it.
I'm hook you up. And I got one more present for you because I saw you.
Shoot.
Yeah. She was looking at it.
Yeah. Fernando, I'm not taking that book.
I'll give it to you.
I'm not taking it. Fernando.
I'll give it to you because, you know me, I'm like a huge, like a lot of people in the world, a huge Michael fan, but I was serious a Michael fan. Like one of my dreams when I started doing radio, I told my mom, one day I'm going to interview Michael Jackson. And one of my other plans was to interview Whitney Houston because my mom is the biggest Whitney Houston fan. I never got to do it, but after I believe in energy and I believe in the fact that meeting you and the family and us becoming friends and getting to know his kids. And I don't know, this is a very special connection we have. So I was like, I would like to give you something that your uncle would love.
Oh.
So this Michael Jackson, all this on the story behind every track. Because one of the first times, the story behind this, one of the first times you came in my studio on the radio, you said you guys normally don't do interviews where you talk about your uncle. Mm. And one of the first interviews where you spoke about your uncle was with me in the Netherlands.
That's true.
And you also told a couple of stories about how songs were made, the Toto sample, all that kind of stuff. So this is the book. It's my present to you.
It seems it is heavy because you're struggling giving it to me. I've never seen this one.
Okay.
And when I came in here, I saw this and said, that's a cool book. I feel so guilty taking it. No. I can easily order it.
No. This is special because I give it to you. It's different.
Well, Fernando, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, man. And I'm going to take good care of this one.
So when I come to the States, I want to see it.
You'll see
Where's the book?
You'll see it, man. It'll be right there.
Yeah.
This is not only, like I said, my favorite artist, but a beautiful person.
Yeah.
And I'll always support my uncle and always be appreciative of the time I got with him.
Yeah.
The best.
Feels amazing to give you this, but it's all love, bro.
I thank you so much.
And thank you for your time. Whenever you want to come by, in my podcast.
All right.
We're doing the international.
All right, I love it.
I'm proud of you. And enjoy your day. Enjoy the fam. And I know your uncle's proud of you. All the fans are proud of you. Your kids are very proud of you.
Thank you, man.
Because you're a good dude.
Thank you, Fernando.
Thank you.
All right, my man.
Much love. I'm seeing you. Ik zeg je, Real Talk international. En het mooie is van, ik zeg, leef je grootste droom. Ik heb de neef van Michael Jackson hier zitten. Maar hij is een goede vriend van me geworden. Een amazing guy. Ook een dikke shout aan Tiurlan. Zij werkt keihard, doet haar dingen in de game. En achter de schermen doet ze heel veel dingen. Ik moet haar ook een dikke shout-out geven. Dus blessings. Omring jezelf met mooie mensen. Waardeer ze. Geef ze die shout-out en liefde. Waardeer ze. Trust me. Dit is Real Talk. The realest conversation. International. En ik heb jullie gezegd, het is het begin van vele andere dingen. Abonneer, like, subscribe. Vertel je broertje, zusje, je tante. Dit is die podcast waar iedereen komt. Ik heb je gezegd. Real Talk, NandoLeaks.